So I'm not a fan of politics, like at all. Like, have you seen the movie War Games? And at the end, the computer says the only winning move is not to play. Yeah, that's me when it comes to politics. And I gotta say, when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was thinking, wow, this is a little too close to home, a little bit, and it makes me feel uneasy. I don't like this. I don't think I'm gonna watch this. But then the movie premiered at South by Southwest, and the reviews were just like crazy. They were insane, like insanely good. One person, and I'm not sure who it was, and I'm gonna paraphrase, but they basically said that Dune Part Two was probably gonna be their best movie, their favorite movie of the year, and that this movie was gonna give it a run for its money. And that made me think, I need to see this. I need to see this movie. And tonight I got to see a special screening of this movie. And yeah, I don't know if you want to scan that. I didn't go there. But yeah, I got a little thing. Yeah, I went and saw Civil War tonight. Yeah. So let's talk about it. So usually I have a pretty chill comment section. People, pretty well respect each other, but I just want to reiterate, just to make sure, this is not the place for political discourse. So please just, yeah, let's just keep it chill. Okay? And besides, this movie's not really about that at all. In fact, but yeah, we'll get into that. But also, I do want to say that I will have a small, tiny little spoiler section at the end. So I'll warn you when we get there, though. So Alex Garland is the writer and director of Civil War, and he did, let's see, Ex Machina, he did Annihilation, he did the series Devs, which I never saw, and Men was his last movie, which I didn't see either. But he also wrote a bunch of really like movies that I like. I mean, he wrote The Beach, which is okay. 28 Days Later, which was really good. Sunshine, which I really liked, and Dread, which was awesome. But yeah, he's been a little hit or miss for me. But recently he came out and said that he was going to retire. But apparently that's not the case. When the story broke that that he was going to retire, he said yeah, that was kind of taken out of context. Let me restate. He goes, I'm just going to take a break from directing. He's not retiring completely, and he wants to focus more on writing. So there's that, if anybody's interested in that. So let's talk about the movie. Let's talk about technical stuff first. The movie is gorgeously shot, gorgeously composed. There is a scene in the movie that was so well done and so beautiful, the everything, the composition, the editing, the music, everything. It was so awesome that it almost brought me to tears. I mean, I could feel like, okay, I feel like welling up here. And yeah, the cinematography by Rob Hardy is fantastic here. And yeah, it was crazy. And I did see this in IMAX. So, when you see something in IMAX, everything looks really good. But I think that this is going to look great no matter how you see it. You probably should see it in IMAX though. I mean, just saying. There's this stark beauty of, America and small town America, and it's like this big wave of nostalgia, especially if you've ever lived in a small town or been through a small town, stayed in a small town for a while. It just gives you like this warm feeling. And then that's in contrast to the destruction that you see. And it's haunting, and it almost physically hurt to watch it. The sound design, way on point. Like, really, really great. The mix is so intense that you're almost inundated with sound at times, and it feels like you're there, and you're in the middle of these horrific scenes. I mean, it was really, really intense and awesome. So big props to the sound department. The acting is really, really great too. Kirsten Dunst, who I thought she was really, really good. Wagner Mora, who I've never seen before. I thought he did a fantastic job. Stephen McKinley Henderson, who has done really good supporting work for years, and he's really great here. But the one that I was really interested in seeing, because I'd never seen her before, was Kaylee Spaney as this sort of up and coming war photographer, and how she was going to play it, and if she would stand out from the crowd, and she really did. And it was a really good performance. But I guess the big reason for me wanting to see her was because I knew she was going to be an Alien Romulus, and that comes out in August, and I'm an Alien super freak, so I'm so excited to see that. But the story though, I think that's where we're going to get into some issues here. And I mean, some of the stuff is great. Like the action it's a bit, I will say, a little more sparse than I had originally expected. But man, when it's time for those scenes, it hits, and it hits hard. And I mean, it's everything that you expect. It's super intense, and the suspense. There are some scenes that are so uncomfortable to watch. And I think the last time that I felt this kind of suspense and this kind of like uneasy feeling was when I watched Training Day for the first time. If you've seen that movie, you know that there are some scenes in that are like, you just feel like this is wrong. I don't want to be here. This is bad, right? End of Watch was another movie that felt like that too. And I just have to, I mean, that is talent to be able to make you feel that way. That's good stuff. As I said before, there's not really a lot of explanation as to how this all happened or who's on what side, who, like, clearly who's on what side and who the bad guys are and good guys. I mean, there's not really any of that. It's more about, and it's actually exclusively about these war photographers and their journey and how they navigate this world and how it affects them. And that's it was kind of a surprise because I didn't really know a whole lot about the movie, and it was a surprise to see that it was really all from their point of view, and it was it was pretty well done. Now, I'm not the kind of person that gets angry at a story. Like when a character does something or this series of events that, are not good for, your main characters or whatever. I usually don't get upset about those things because I kind of feel like in a lot of ways that mirrors real life. So as long as it's true to the characters and as long as it doesn't break the rules that the movie has or story has set up, then I'm okay with that. Unfortunately, there are a series of scenes that upset me, that I felt were bad. And I felt it took the movie from like, this might be one of the best war movies or anti-war movies that I've ever seen to, wow. I walked out and I was like, wow, this is disappointing. Also, again, this is an anti-war movie. I mean, the message is clearly, this is bad. This is not a good thing. And this is not something to look forward to. This is a bad thing. But unfortunately, I feel that there are going to be some people that look at this and walk out thinking, man, that was awesome. And no, it's not awesome. It's not, this is not something that we should look forward to. This is not something we should want. This is horrific stuff. Seeing, friends go against each other, brothers go against each other. I just hope that the message is clear. So yeah, do I recommend this movie? That's really tough. In a way, it almost feels like a waste of time because I did not like the way that those scenes play out. I don't want to talk about anywhere where those scenes may happen because that kind of might be spoilery. So I don't want to do that. But it's just, yeah, it's frustrating because I was super impressed with everything up to this point. And yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you see the trailers and you go, oh yeah, I think I want to see that. Well then, yeah, go see it. But I honestly can't really recommend it. Okay, so spoiler time. I'm going to give you just a few seconds to click away from the video if you don't want to hear the spoilers. Okay, so spoiler time is happening. Spoiler time. Okay, you ready? Okay, here's the scene that I didn't like. It's when Kaylee Spaney's character basically, for no apparent reason, decides to step in the line of fire in the middle of this firefight, and Kirsten Dunst has to step in front of her to save her, and she dies. And Kaylee Spaney just kind of gets up and walks away. And it's like that doesn't feel true to the character. I mean, yeah, she's there. She's clearly at this point in the story, and this is right at the end. This is the last 5 minutes of the movie, right? Clearly, she's gotten a high off of this, everything going on. The infiltration of the White House and all that stuff. You can see that, but it's just so it feels so useless. And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point, is that it's all useless. But it kind of made me go, why? I can think of so many other ways that I could have. I don't know. I shouldn't even say that, because I hate it when some people say that, like, oh, they should have done this or they should have done that. Well, that's not what it's not what happened, and it's not what we should judge. We can't judge things based on what it can never be, right? Like, if something happens and you don't like it, well, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just the way the movie happened, right? And there's no going back. So I have to judge it on the merits of what I got. And what I got, I didn't like. I didn't like that. I didn't like the way that it ended. It basically ended with them going in there and killing the president, Nick Offerman. And I'm just like, I didn't feel much of anything other than just disappointment. So I don't know. And maybe I'm completely wrong on that. But hopefully the people that have seen it can say, yeah, I felt the same way, or no, I thought that's the whole point of the movie. But for me, that's kind of why I felt like at the end of it. I just kind of walked out and walked to my car going, I mean, okay. I don't like this in the middle where I'm like, well, all this other stuff was great, but it felt like a different movie all of a sudden. And it felt goofy and I don't know, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to me. But anyway, please let me know your thoughts down below if you've seen the movie. And if you're still here, I'm sorry for ruining, maybe spoiling the movie for you. But I did warn you. So there's that. But anyway, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it down in the comment section. And yeah, that's my review of Civil War. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.